At Starbound, we tell stories the human way, not with artificial voices or AI slop. In the end, what's HFY without humanity? Subscribe to keep it this way. My name's General G. Let's begin. Planet Dirt is a death world. Death worlds do not lend themselves to sapience. The pressures and terrors of such a place do not allow beings to evolve intelligence or organize into societies. In all of the thousands of years life has been studied throughout the galaxy, no truly intelligent species has ever evolved on such a place. Until now. Welcome to Worlds of Death. My name is Mickey Craven. Join me as we take a look at the strangest, most fascinating species ever discovered. The most fascinating and the most terrifying. The ones who call themselves humans. The Death Worlders of Planet Dirt. Planet Dirt is no ordinary death world. It's a Class 12, the highest danger rating capable of supporting life. Dirt is rife with tectonic activity. Earthquakes, volcanoes, and tsunamis are a regular occurrence. Volcanic eruptions can be so severe that they blot out the sky with ash and debris. Such seismic events have caused mass extinctions in the past. They will do so again. The weather is also a cause for concern. The temperature varies wildly, from 60 degrees Celsius to negative 86 degrees. From the boiling point of acetone to the freezing point of carbon dioxide, the wildly shifting temperatures give birth to strong winds and severe weather patterns. Storm clouds release torrents of rain, snow, and solid ice. Lightning strikes the planet 8 million times every day. Winds lash the world, forming tornadoes and hurricanes. The wind on planet Dirt can reach speeds of over 320 kilometers per hour, generating enough force to destroy buildings and reduce creatures to broken pulps. As dangerous and unpredictable as the world's geography is, its hazards pale in comparison to the creatures that call it home. Planet Dirt has one of the most dynamic biospheres ever observed, and the most vicious. Change is constant. Every creature on the planet is constantly evolving. Mutations and adaptations occur with incredible speed and frequency. Every being fights and competes as hard as it can, desperate to cling to life. Planet Dirt is home to the most predatory life cycles in all the galaxy. It has evolved predators that can fly or run 120 kilometers an hour. Creatures that hunt in packs that are so camouflaged they might as well be invisible. Creatures with venom so potent they could kill 100 Nogloss with a single bite. Dirt's herbivores are no less dangerous. Some of them weigh over 8 tons. They are aggressive and territorial. Nearly all of Dirt's creatures are murderous. The biosphere is so hostile that even the plants try to kill. It is in this terrible place that we see the strangest and most dangerous predators of all, the Dirtlings. The Dirtlings have managed to conquer this frightening world. They've developed tools in agriculture. They've learned to alter the environment around them. It is here we see one of the most interesting and disturbing facets of humanity. The Dirtlings made themselves the masters of their surroundings. But instead of using that mastery to make their world a safer place, they chose to make it much more dangerous. Today, we will look at one of the places the Dirtlings have altered. In this land, the Dirtlings have destroyed the lush forests and teeming plains they once called home. In their place, they have constructed a labyrinth of steel and glass and concrete, an urban jungle. It is called a city. Dirtling cities stretch for thousands of square kilometers. Great gleaming buildings stretch into the sky. The wildlife has been destroyed and the soil has been covered in tar and concrete. It is a noisy, smelly place. full of explosion-powered machines, honks, shrieking, and the sounds of small Deathworld predators the Dirtlings keep as companions. To say nothing of the Dirtlings themselves. They throng through the pathways in the thousands, sometimes in the millions, filling the world with their mating calls and the musky aroma of apex predators. When night falls, the city does not sleep. Instead, it burns brighter. Lights shine from inside of the buildings. More lights line the pathways. Lights come from the machines the Dirtlings use to travel. Light is everywhere, so thick it blots out the stars. Dirtlings may have conquered planet Dirt, but it is still a death world. The humans have learned to fear the dark, so they do not let the dark exist. The Dirtlings do not live in harmony with their land. They do not travel through dirt paths and game trails. The pathways of nature have been replaced with wide black thoroughfares of flat tar. The Dirtlings call these paved paths roads, and they are deadly. The roads are not a place of walking. Dirtlings travel long distances as they go about their day, and they have developed a need for velocity. The humans address this need with the aid of terrible machines. Automobiles, they call them. Automobiles are constructs of steel and plastic. They are large enough for several humans to fit inside. The Dirtlings do not have anti-gravity technology, so the machines sit on rubber wheels. A primitive engine powers the automobile, using chemicals to form rapid explosions that propel the machines forward. Human technology is as violent and unpredictable as the Dirtlings themselves. Nearly all of their tools are based on fire, explosives, and electricity. In the case of the automobile, they use all three. Human machines tend to produce dangerous chemicals, and automobiles are no exception. They are full of dangerous fluids from acids to freon. Their fuel is, of course, highly flammable. Automobiles are known to catch fire and explode. Automobiles travel the roads at insane speeds. The metal beasts travel at an average of 40 kilometers an hour in the city, but they are capable of reaching 5 times that velocity. The machines weigh several tons, more than enough to splatter a Dirtling who is unlucky enough to be struck by one. Such collisions are a frequent occurrence. The Dirtlings steering the vehicles are constantly crashing into other Dirtlings. Some are in vehicles of their own, some are not. Automobile accidents happen an average of 17,000 times a day. Death and horrible injuries are often the result. The machines are noisy, smelly things. Automobiles spew streams of toxic gases in their wake, a byproduct of their combustive engines. High-speed explosions are a loud way to generate propulsion, and automobile drivers add to the sounds with shouts, devices that play Dirtling music, and a warning sound called a honk. Automobiles turn the soundscape of the city into a cacophony of rumbles and rhythms and shrieks. The noise and pollution does not seem to concern the Dirtlings, nor does the prospect of high-speed vehicular death. Humans do not always travel inside the automobiles. They often walk unprotected next to them. Lining the roads are concrete pathways called sidewalks. Humans travel these sidewalks in a constant stream, completely ignoring the lethal metal beasts hurtling down the road beside them. While the roads are filled with lethality, there is one time of the day when the danger is lessened. It is a time the Dirtlings dread. They call it the rush hour. It is an ironic choice of name. The rush hour sees the largest gathering of automobiles on the roads at one time. So many machines clog the roads that they block each other's progress. The lines of automobiles stretch for miles and miles, moving in fits and starts. There is not enough space available for any of them to reach their usual speed. When the rush hour comes, no one can rush anywhere. The roads and sidewalks are only one part of human cities. The largest amount of area is taken up by buildings, huge constructions of steel and glass. The Dirtlings call them skyscrapers. Skyscrapers have an average height of 150 meters. They dominate the view of most cities, and they allow an extreme density of humans to occupy the same territory. The skyscrapers are death traps. They are filled with electrical wiring, heat sources, and pipes filled with methane gas. Building fires are common, so common that the Dirtlings have dedicated an entire cast to putting those fires out. Methane, carbon monoxide, and other dangerous gases frequently leak, suffocating humans or creating explosions large enough to demolish entire buildings. Electrical wires frequently shock humans to death and are one of the common causes of fire. The Dirtlings ignore these dangers just as they ignore the constant threat of automobiles. As alien and imposing as these skyscrapers are, they too are only part of the picture. Beneath the roads and the buildings is another series of structures. Tunnel systems that stretch nearly as far as the roads. These tunnels are full of pipelines. The pipelines carry water, waste products, and explosive chemicals. They also carry traveling Dirtlings. The network of tunnels is home to a very peculiar mode of transportation. They are called subways. A subway is a metal tube, propelled to frightening speeds along lines of metal railings. Unlike the automobiles, these tubes are not propelled by explosive chemicals. Instead, they are moved along by magnetism and a lethal amount of electricity. While two of the metal railings guide the subway train, the third is the source of its propulsion. This third rail is coursing with electricity. It is exposed. Miles and miles of exposed electric death traveled the length of the subway tunnels, waiting to kill anyone foolish enough to touch it. The trains themselves are another sort of danger. Weighing over 100 tons and traveling at up to 100 kilometers an hour, a subway train can reduce a Dirtling to a shattered, bloody smear. Still, the subway is much safer than the roads above it, as long as the Dirtlings don't fall onto the railings. Some Dirtlings do fall, of course. Some fall accidentally, others are pushed. Our scientists discovered one city had an average of 65 subway deaths a year. A horrifyingly large number to us, a comfortingly low number to the Dirtlings. Underground electrified high-speed metal tubes are, oddly enough, the safest transportation available on planet Dirt. Dirtling cities are loud, smelly, and full of danger. Why did the Dirtlings choose to create such a place? Why would they choose to live there? We will explore the answers to these questions after a brief message from our sponsors. Stay tuned. Are you thinking of visiting a death world? Would you like to see the horrors of Garglon 9 in person? Well, don't. There is no need to risk your precious life. Your curiosity can be satisfied here on our special series. Worlds of Death covers all the insane and terrifying creatures you always wanted to know about. From the acid-bleeding predators of Hive World G45 to the parasitic telepaths of Byrumis, all the deadliest and most frightening creatures are brought to you in the comfort of your own home or viewing area. It is no longer necessary to sacrifice your life to satisfy your curiosity. Let our trained and highly equipped staff take the risks on your behalf. Worlds of Death is a public service provided by the Department of Life Preservation. This service is being provided to prevent any more citizens from letting their curiosity get the better of them. Too many lives have been lost already, and there have been several outbreaks of dangerous species being accidentally brought back to sapient Union space. The Department of Life Preservation would like to remind you that they are called Death Worlds for a reason. Please do not visit. The Worlds of Death series is brought to you by the Curiosity Channel. If you enjoy our content, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Worlds of Death. We show you the creatures you never want to meet. Welcome back to Worlds of Death. As we've seen, a Dirtling city is a dangerous place. Pavement, concrete, and buildings cover the soil. making the growth of food impossible. There are few animals, far too few to hunt for sustenance. The buildings are death traps. The roads are a source of constant peril. Why then do the humans insist on living in such a place? The answer is as simple as it is strange. Currency. The humans use currency to symbolize contributions and resources much as we do. It is there that the similarity ends. While civilized cultures allocate resources based on what provides the most benefit to society, the Dirtlings distribute their currency based solely on competition. The human word for currency is moolah. Dirtlings spend the majority of their time in pursuit of moolah. For a Dirtling, the acquisition of moolah is a matter of life and death. Dirtling society does not provide basic necessities such as food and shelter, nor are such things available for the Dirtlings to scavenge for themselves. Those humans who fail to acquire moolah are doomed to starve and die. Just as food must be purchased, so must a place for sleep. Dirtlings are not allowed to dig their own dens in the city. Purchasing a home is possible, but only the wealthiest and most successful Dirtlings have the moolah to make that happen. The vast majority are forced to make an exchange called rent, if they want a place to live. Rent is a temporary arrangement. Every 30 days, a Dirtling must pay a lord of the land for the privilege of dwelling in its home. It is a large expense. No matter how many payments the Dirtlings make, no matter how much of their precious moolah is expended, their stay in the domicile will never be permanent. The lord of the land can throw the Dirtlings and their families out at any time for any reason. Moolah is more than just a way to allocate resources. The amount of moolah a human possesses determines their ranking in society. Those Dirtlings with a large amount of moolah are treated with respect and reverence. The other Dirtlings will pamper these wealthy individuals, called the ownership caste. The ownership caste is allowed to do as they please, ignoring cultural taboos without consequence. They live in great comfort, rarely have to perform tasks, and have little difficulty attracting a mate. Those without moolah are another story. They have no shelter, no food, and no safety. The other Dirtlings shun these homeless persons, often attacking and driving them from their territory. It is a grim existence. Diseases and mental illness are common. Such conditions might be treatable, but only in exchange for a sizable amount of moolah. The lives of the homeless are grim and often short. Dirtlings acquire moolah in a variety of ways. The most common of these is called a job. The Dirtling will go to a location and perform a task for a set period of time each day. This is called work. The average work period is 8 hours, but Dirtlings are known to work for as little as 3 hours or as many as 18. The ones paying for the tasks are called employers, and the workers are at their mercy. Dirtlings must do as their employers direct, or risk homelessness and starvation. Interestingly enough, the most labor-intensive jobs often provide the least moolah. The same is true for the most important jobs, the ones humans label as essential. The essential workers are the most likely to be harmed or berated while performing their tasks, and they must struggle constantly to acquire the resources to keep themselves alive. The ownership caste does the smallest amount of work, if they work at all. Our scientists have discovered that not only do they not contribute to Dirtling society, but they often use their position in society to cause great harm. The other Dirtlings are aware of this discrepancy, but they do not take any action to change it. Indeed, they seem to celebrate the owners as winners and creators of jobs. It seems backwards and barbaric to us. Evil, in fact. The Dirtlings know their economic system has no care for the betterment of the species. Contributions are not rewarded. Causing harm has no consequence. All that matters is the acquisition of moolah. The Dirtlings know this, and they approve of it. Humans have no interest in improving their society. They simply wish to climb to the top of it. Those who do are hailed as heroes. Those who do not are considered worthless, if they are considered at all. It is an insanity. It is an insanity born of a death world. Planet Dirt is a world of constant competition, of predator and prey. Its inhabitants are forced to fight, to change and adapt and struggle at all times. Only the strongest survive. The weak and the unlucky die. It is a world without mercy. The Dirtlings evolved on this pitiless place. The fear and madness of Planet Dirt has ingrained itself into their souls. Ingrained so deeply they are not even aware it exists. Humans see all interactions as matters of dominance and competition. Everything they do, everything they are, is dedicated to winning against all comers. Humans compete for jobs, for mates, for resources. They fight each other for territory, for social status, and for no reason at all. The human economic system is based entirely on this mindset. All Dirtlings compete. Only a very few succeed. The successful are called winners. These winners then use their power to funnel even more power and moolah to themselves, taking from all the losers below them. To the Dirtling, it makes perfect sense. Those who win the moolah are proven worthy. Those who fail deserve the nothing they receive. The strong survive and the weak perish. It is the way of things on the death world known as Dirt. Worlds of Death will return after this message from our sponsors. Is your fleeb not flobbing? Fix it right with FeebFlob. Our special Glicknix formula will have your fleeb standing tall and shining bright. Don't let your fleeb droop down. Ask for FleebFlob at your local resource allocation center. FleebFlob, it will get your fleeb to flobbing again. Welcome back to Worlds of Death. Let us continue our exploration of Planet Dirt and the terrifying cities that the humans call home. Cities are not the result of hive mentality. The Dirtlings have no queens, no telepathic or pheromone-based connection, and no interest in cooperating on a large scale. The humans built their cities for two reasons: convenience and moolah. Consolidating a large population in such a small area allows for efficiency and specialization in the production of goods and services. It lowers the cost of production. At the same time, it creates a large pool of Dirtlings to sell those goods and services to. Dirtlings flock to see these cities, not for protection or comfort, but because they are places of opportunity, places with a large collection of jobs and moolah. These jobs range from the tedious to the deadly. Some Dirtlings wander the sidewalks, offering mating rights in exchange for currency. Some sneak into the dens of others, stealing their possessions. Some earn moolah by making sounds or domesticating Deathworld predators. Others attack and kill other Dirtlings. There are even Dirtlings who earn moolah by painting the bodies of dead Dirtlings. It is a vast, ever-changing and brutal network of tasks and exchanges. One of the more interesting of the human industries is called retail. The land of a human city has been paved over. It is impossible for the Dirtlings to grow their own food. Even if the land was uncovered, it could never produce enough resources to feed a population in the millions. Instead, food and other goods are shipped from the surrounding areas. These resources are gathered together and sold for moolah in places called stores. Stores seem like a simple concept. At first glance, they are not much different from our resource allocation centers. Dirtlings enter the stores, find the goods they want, and purchase them for currency. The stores of the Dirtlings come with two important differences. The first difference is how stores receive their goods. Dirtlings are not advanced enough to have the translocation technology we use. Instead, they move their resources through a vast network of combustion-powered vehicles, automobiles, ships, and primitive flying machines. Stores receive shipments on a weekly or even daily basis. Over 56 million tons of human goods are shipped every day. If these shipments stop for even a few weeks, the entire city will starve. The second difference is the nature of the goods these stores sell. Food, clothing, and tools are only a small part of what these stores have to offer. One of the more inexplicable of these offerings is poison. The Dirtlings sell a wide variety of deadly chemicals. The Dirtlings consume poisons for pleasure. They set fire to poisonous plants and inhale the noxious fumes. They drink fermented plant matter. They use needles to inject themselves with deadly chemicals. Even the food of the Dirtlings is toxic. They infuse their foods with vast amounts of refined sugar, or add plants high in capsaicin. They find the burning sensation pleasant. The Dirtlings love to poison themselves. Over 11 million Dirtlings die from these poisons each year. The Dirtlings know these poisons are fatal. They take them anyway, happily trading their lives in pursuit of a good time. Stores also sell a wide variety of weapons. Planet Dirt is a dangerous place. Attacks, just like automobile accidents, are a daily occurrence. Dirtlings must always be prepared to defend themselves. While many of these attacks are performed with just the limbs of the creatures, the use of weapons can make an encounter far more deadly. Humans have a very large and frightening array of weapons to choose from. Sharp blades and blunt instruments are everywhere, and the Dirtlings are not shy about using them. The most popular Dirtling weapon is called a gat. A gat is an odd device. It is not deadly in and of itself. Gats are a storage and delivery mechanism for the true favored weapon of the humans. A piece of shaped metal attached to an explosive cartridge. The humans call them bullets. Humans feed bullets into their gats. Once inside, the bullet can be ignited with the pull of a trigger. Bullets, like so much of human technology, are based on harnessing the power of explosions. Pulling the trigger of a gat will cause a mechanism to strike the bullet. This impact causes an ignition, setting fire to the volatile chemicals housed in the bullet's casing. The explosion that follows is compressed and channeled. The metal part of the bullet is launched out of the gat faster than the speed of sound. The metal that is launched is usually lead, which is predictably poisonous. These high-speed projectiles are devastating. Bullets do more than punch holes through their victims. The speed and kinetic energy send a shockwave through the body, vibrating and compressing organs to create severe trauma. Bullets have been known to kill Dirtlings at a distance of over 3 kilometers. Most gat fights, or shootings as the Dirtlings call them, happen from a much closer range. Collateral damage is common. Bullets are so powerful they will often rip through one Dirtling and kill the Dirtling behind them. Bullets can punch through walls. They can bounce off hard surfaces in unpredictable ways. A large percentage of humans killed by shootings are entirely accidental. This does not seem to bother them. Dirtlings love their gats. They see them not just as a tool for defense, but as a source of pleasure. Humans spend a lot of time shooting their gats at pieces of plant matter or metal circles. They compete to see who can shoot these targets the best. Humans fire their gats into the air when they're excited, uncaring of what will happen when gravity pulls their bullets back down. This, like so many Dirtling things, causes frequent unintended deaths. The Dirtlings do not seem to care. While not all Dirtlings carry gats, there is one specific caste that always does. It is a dreaded caste, both privileged and feared. The Dirtlings call them the Popo. The Popo take care to make themselves recognizable. Each Popo carries a small, shiny metal symbol called a badge. They wear special clothing with recognizable patterns, very similar to tribal markings. Their vehicles are adorned with these markings as well. Their vehicles are also adorned with flashing blue and red lights, a threat and a warning to all who see them. The other Dirtlings give the Popo a wide berth. Automobiles slow down when the Po-Po are near. They pull to the side of the roads and stop when the flashing lights are seen. Sometimes the Po-Po race past these stopped dirtlings on their way to different prey. Sometimes the stopped dirtlings are not so lucky. The purpose of the Po-Po is a matter of some debate. Sometimes they stop other dirtlings and take a portion of their moolah. Sometimes they attack the dirtlings. Sometimes they kill them. Their most common practice is the most inexplicable. The Po-Po will single out a dirtling or group of dirtlings, bind their wrists with metal rings, and take them away. These captured dirtlings are taken to a place called the Big House. Each city has at least one big house, with larger cities having several. The Big House is a strange place. The windows are lined with metal bars. A tribally marked caste similar to the Po-Po functions as guards, tasked with preventing the captured dirtlings from escaping. The guard caste is efficient and brutal, attacking and occasionally killing their charges. The dirtlings who are forced into the Big House are called Khans. Khans are an odd part of dirtling society. They have no need of moolah. Khans are given food, shelter, and medical attention. They are provided with entertainment. The Khans of the Big House have everything they need, with no need to struggle as the rest of society does. It should be a paradise. It should be, but it is not. There has been a lot of speculation on why the dirtlings hate the Big House, but the most prevalent theory has to do with competition. Khans are cut off from the rest of dirtling society. They are unable to acquire their precious moolah. They are given jobs, but they do not receive the currency those jobs generate. Khans are also cut off from members of the opposite gender, making it impossible to compete for a mate. Though their every need is met, the dirtlings that become Khans are miserable beings. The only form of competition they can participate in is violence, which they dispense upon each other in a constant fight for dominance. We do not know the purpose of the Big House. We do not know why the Po-Po drag dirtlings there, or how the Khans are chosen. Khans are brought to the Big House. They are fed and housed. They are forced to work. Then, after a period of days or months or years, they are released back into society. Some of our scientists have speculated that the Big House is a way to force dirtlings to work without currency, a way to generate moolah without compensation. It is a vile and disturbing idea, but it is a real practice that has been observed on planet Dirt. There are six-legged hive species called ants that do this, capturing rival hive members and forcing them to work until they die. It is one of the many horrors of the death world the humans call home. The humans know of this horror. They have a word for it. That word is slave. While the dirtlings are aware of the concept of slaves, it is unlikely that this is the purpose of the Big House. Dirtlings are notoriously unpredictable and hard to confine. A great deal of moolah is spent to keep these Khans contained, far more than their labor could generate. Other scientists theorize that these Khans have been confined because they pose a danger to society. Perhaps they have been removed for the good of all. This, too, is an unlikely theory. Dirtlings ignore terrible danger as a matter of routine. They kill each other. They poison themselves for fun. What kind of danger would make a dirtling afraid enough to go through so much effort? The final theory is, perhaps, the most disturbing. A small minority of our researchers believe that the sole purpose of the Big House is to punish dirtlings. Punishment is an alien concept to us, but it is a founding principle of dirtling society. When one dirtling upsets another or breaks a rule, they are made to suffer. Pain and fear are inflicted on the offender. The dirtlings believe that fear and applied suffering will change the behavior of the dirtlings that do not conform. Strangely enough, changing behavior appears to be a secondary consideration. While they believe suffering acts as a deterrent, deterrence is not the purpose of punishment. The purpose is the suffering itself. Dirtlings believe that anyone who causes harm should be punished. Those who break the rules of society are made to suffer not in the hopes of rehabilitation, but simply because they deserve it. The humans are Deathworlders. Every aspect of their lives is a matter of dominance and competition. Their society is maintained not by contribution or understanding, but by naked force. Dirtlings that do not follow the rules will suffer. Dirtlings that follow the rules will suffer less. That is the final theory for the purpose of the Big House. It is to inflict suffering in the name of society. It is possible the Big House exists for all of these reasons, or for none of them. The Dirtlings are the most alien and unpredictable sapients we have ever seen. There are aspects of their society that we simply do not understand. Perhaps we never will. We will return after this message from our sponsors. Hello, sapients! Are you thinking of visiting a death world? Do you wish to see a death world predator up close? You absolutely should not. But if you do, you need an Abducto Beam. Abducto Beams are the latest in retrieval technology. Our special transphasic technology will let you phase your specimen through any type of matter. There is no need to lure these monsters out of their dens. You can retrieve them in their sleep. Your Abducto Beams will place your specimen in suspended animation. They will not be able to move. Most of them won't be aware that they've been abducted at all. Your Abducto Beam will bring the Deathworld monster directly to your ship, where you can scan, probe, or dissect the creature at leisure. Just don't let it out of the beam, or it will tear your fleab off. Abducto Beams, the smarter way to do something stupid. Important disclaimer. Abducto Beam should be used with extreme caution. Deathworld predators will escape if any part of them is allowed out of the beam. Malfunctions or power fluctuations can cause Abducto Beam to stop working, resulting in your horrible grisly demise. Second important disclaimer. Abducto Beam is not for use on Dirtlings. The Deathworlders of planet Dirt have showed signs of awareness while inside Abducto Beams. Dirtlings have also escaped Abducto Beams on several occasions. We are not sure how. The Department of Life Preservation strongly advises against visiting, abducting, or experimenting on humans. Welcome back to Worlds of Death. We have now seen the urban jungle that most Dirtlings call home. It is a place with no natural predators, no dangerous plants, and every convenience the humans have learned how to make. Despite this, or perhaps because of it, Dirtling cities are some of the most dangerous places on the Death World, known as Dirt. Between 0.5 and 1% of a city's population dies each year. An insane number by our standards, but the Dirtlings don't seem to care. Many of these deaths are natural. The planet is highly irradiated, and there are so many malicious microorganisms that planet Dirt is considered a plague world. The constant assault of radiation and disease take their toll on the human body. Most Dirtlings do not live past 85 revolutions of their star. Deathworld diseases take the highest number of lives, but they are far from the only danger. Dirtlings are killed by machines, by accidents, by poisons, by each other, even by themselves. Now we come to the most disturbing aspect of the sapience of planet Dirt. Humans are known to kill themselves. On purpose. We do not know why. The Dirtlings refer to this practice as suicide. Over 700,000 Dirtlings commit suicide each year. In some cases, the creatures are suffering from debilitating pain or disease. They might terminate themselves simply to end the pain. It is a terrible but understandable thing. However, this only explains a small number of cases. The majority of self-deleting Dirtlings are perfectly healthy. Some Dirtlings choose to kill not only themselves, but as many other humans as they can take with them. Dirtlings will strap explosives to themselves and detonate them in populated places. They will murder their families before turning their weapons on themselves. Perhaps the most terrifying method of self-deletion is a ritual known as a mass shooting event. Mass is a Dirtling word that means both large amount and religious observance. The mass shooting event must have some religious significance, but we cannot guess what that significance might be. The Dirtling performing the ritual brings its gats to a place where Dirtlings are gathered, often a place with many hatchlings. The Dirtlings will then shoot its gat at the other humans. It will kill as many as it can. Even a Popo or another armed human may not arrive to kill the shooter. If one does not, the shooter will kill until it is satisfied. Then it will kill itself. This reveals the fundamental horrifying nature of these Deathworld sapients. We new humans do not fear death as we do. They evolved on a world of constant peril. It is no surprise they would be accustomed to it. Our researchers believe that Dirtlings have gone a step farther, a step that takes them into the realm of insanity. We believe that the Dirtlings love death, crave it, that they worship it as we once worshipped the stars. The Dirtlings have a word for this concept. They call it their death wish. It is why humans ignore danger. It is why they consume poisons. It is why they kill. It is an alien, twisted view of the universe. Where we love and cling to life, the humans do not. Humans care only for dominance and their precious moolah. The Dirtlings are perfectly happy discarding life in pursuit of their goals, even when that life is their own. Planet Dirt is a death world, a place of horrors beyond imagining. The evolution of sapience in such a place is a miracle or a nightmare. The humans of Planet Dirt are an existential threat. Intelligent Deathworld predators that live to dominate and destroy. Worshippers of death, twisted by the land that gave birth. We must hope that they never reach the stars. Thank you for watching this episode of Worlds of Death. The Department of Life Preservation would like to remind you one more time. The current danger rating of the humans is high. Do not let curiosity overtake you. Do not travel to Planet Dirt. Do not disturb the Dirtlings.